Since the moment we first looked up, humans have had a complicated relationship with gravity. We're creatures of the earth, heavy with bone and water, but our eyes are built to scan the horizon and the stars. There's a strange conflict between where we stand and where we look. To close that gap, to connect the mud of our beginnings with the stars we dream of, we build. The history of architecture isn't just about shelter. It's a history of defiance. From the ancient ziggurats of Mesopotamia to the glass needles piercing the clouds of modern Dubai, our impulse to build vertically has defined civilization. But why do we do it? It's more than just saving space or building forts. We build up because we're afraid of fading away. We build high to stake a claim against the silent, empty sky. In the beginning, height belonged to the gods. To the ancients, the sky wasn't empty. It was a realm of power, the source of rain, the path of the sun. Building high was a way to get closer to the divine. Take the Great Pyramid of Giza. For almost 4,000 years, it was the tallest thing on earth, built not for the living, but as a launch pad for the pharaoh's soul. Even the Bible tells of the Tower of Babel, where humanity tried to build a tower to the heavens and was punished for its ambition. For centuries, we respected that limit. We built cathedrals and spires that pointed to God. But these were houses for spirits, not for people. The game changed with two key inventions: mass-produced steel and the safety elevator. Before the mid-19th century, building high meant making the walls at the bottom incredibly thick. Plus, nobody wanted to walk up more than 5 flights of stairs. Then, the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 wiped the city clean. Architects there asked a revolutionary question. What if the walls didn't have to hold the building up? What if it had a skeleton? The steel frame was born. Walls could now be made of glass. They were just curtains. At the same time, Elisha Otis showed off his safety elevator. Before him, if an elevator cable snapped, you were done for. Otis invented a brake that would automatically catch the car. He dramatically cut the rope at the 1854 World's Fair, and the platform didn't fall. Suddenly, the world turned upside down. The top floors, once for the poor, became the penthouse. Being high up meant you were above the noise and dirt of the street. Height became a luxury. The skyscraper was born. By the early 20th century, New York City became the new center of ambition. Towers were no longer about God. They were about capitalism. The Woolworth Building was even called the Cathedral of Commerce. It looked like a Gothic church, but inside, it was a hub of business. The message was clear. Corporations were the new church, and money was the new faith. This led to the famous race to the sky in the late 1920s. The Chrysler Building, with its stunning Art Deco crown, is a masterpiece of the machine age. For 40 years, it defined the 20th century skyline. Industrial, ambitious, and unyielding. After World War II, architecture got a minimalist makeover. The fancy details disappeared. Architects like Mies van der Rohe declared less is more. The new towers were simple, cold rectangles of steel and glass, like the Seagram Building in New York. The people inside these glass boxers floated above the city, separated from the life on the street. This era culminated in the World Trade Center. The Twin Towers weren't about beauty. They were about sheer size and power, a symbol of America's global economic dominance. For a moment, the world looked at the sky with fear once again, but fear fades. Ambition is permanent. In the 21st century, the race to the sky moved east. The oil-rich nations of the Middle East and the booming economies of Asia began building with an incredible ferocity. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai shattered every record. It's so tall. Engineers had to invent new shapes to trick the wind and stop it from swaying. But why build so high in a desert with plenty of land? For the same reason the pharaohs built pyramids. To make a statement, a super-tall skyscraper puts a city on the global map. It says, "We have arrived." But these new towers raise new questions. They're often built by migrant workers in tough conditions, and they consume enormous amounts of energy. The view from the top has become a luxury item, sold to the highest bidder. So what does it feel like to look down from 1,000 feet? The philosopher Michel de Certeau said that on the street, you're part of the city's story, but from above, you become a spectator. The city turns into a map. You feel a godlike sense of control. The messences of human life becomes a neat pattern. From the top of the Shanghai Tower, traffic jams look like blood cells flowing through veins. It's a peaceful feeling, but also a dangerous one. It lets us feel separate from the world that supports us. So where are we headed next? The age of building towers just for ego might be ending. We're now entering the era of the ecological tower. Architects are designing vertical forests, buildings covered in thousands of trees to filter the air and create their own microclimates. As the world's population grows and more of us move to cities, building up isn't just about ego anymore. It's about survival. We can't keep sprawling outwards, but the towers of the future must be different. They need to breathe. They need to be communities with parks in the sky, not just filing cabinets for people. So, why do towers touch the sky? We build them because the ground is not enough for us. We build them as proof that we can work together, organizing millions of tons of material to defy gravity itself. A skyscraper is a mirror. In the pyramids, we see our quest for immortality. In the Empire State Building, we see our industrial power. In the Burj Khalifa, we see our global ambition. And in the unfinished skeletons of future towers, we see our hope. We're a species that can't help but reach. As long as there's a sky above us, we will keep trying to rise, forever climbing the stairs of our own making, searching for a view that finally tells us who we are. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the sky, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories about the world we build.